Well, past few days, I've been experimenting with a theory. Um, the way I run this setup, I use my earphones. Now, what I've been using to record is the XSplit broadcaster. That way I can do a nicer presentation.
Did they catch him?
No. So anyway, the other night, I was going to try to record a particular song off of YouTube using Audacity. At least that's what I thought. Now, when I use this, the sound from the GB7 goes through the headphones, but also goes in to the mic and is recorded. And I thought if I did that with Audacity, it would do the same thing. I could listen to it in private and it would be recorded. It wasn't. Audacity won't do that. This will, because it's in its programming to do it. Audacity's programming is very specific. It won't allow you to do that. Now, I always have my Bluetooth on because, quite frankly, I do a lot of file transfers from my phone to the computer. And the GB7, of course, is based on the Bluetooth. Now, what I got was EVPs. I went over that song. Now, these words are not in that particular song. And it got me thinking, although there wasn't that, say, as many as a normal session with a GB7 would be, they were there. A lot of them were faint. When I turned off the Bluetooth to see what would happen, there was, I think, one EVP. Only one. So let me put forward that spirits as an energy operates somewhere between the frequency of a Bluetooth and that of broadband, somewhere within that frequency. That is why the GB1 and the SCD1 work so well. Because if you've seen Steve Huff's new device, the Portal, you don't hear you do not hear the SCD1. You only hear the replies because he's been putting it through that amp and those two pedals. When I've been working with GB1 lately, only I hear the GB1, and yet there are replies. what um, what I think is happening now. Of course, you can't prove this, but let's just say that when everything started, the whole Big Bang itself was a result of energy that we do not understand gaining consciousness. Intelligent energy is what the universe is made out of. Is what we are. We're only renting these bodies for, say, 50, 60, 70 years. That energy operates somewhere between the Bluetooth spectrum and the broadband spectrum, which, like I said, is why the GB1 and the SCD1 work so well, because they tap right into that. At the present rate, possibly within, say, another 15 to 20 years, somebody will develop an actual phone to call the dead. Well, they'll like us calling or not, I have no idea. Now, if anyone wants to duplicate what I did, it's simple. Basically, open Audacity, take any song on the internet, on YouTube, and play it. Use your earphones, preferably earphones with a mic to it. The newer laptops, the earphone and mic input are the same. Because this one's not even a year old. This one's not even 6 months yet. When you play back the Audacity file, you should hear something. Most of it, you're not going to hear anything. But you should, if your house has spirits, get at least one, even if it's faint, EVP. You have to have your Bluetooth turned on. If not, your odds of capturing something are slim to none. Now, before you say, well, you're just picking up somebody else's Bluetooth signal, that's not the way Bluetooth works. For one thing, your Bluetooth on your phone has a range, if you're lucky, of 30 feet, 35 at the most. Your laptop does have a 359-foot Bluetooth range, optimal. But house back here has been empty for over a year, back about 2 years now. They're hardly ever home, and she does not know what Bluetooth is. They don't use it, and that's a 4-lane highway. So even if one of my neighbors was close enough, no one around here uses it, except maybe for the phone, and that's only a 30-foot range. Plus, in this neighborhood, believe me, everyone has everything past code. So you still would not be picking up their Bluetooth. Now I'm going to try this later with actually asking questions and seeing if this works. Like I said, it's not something that would replace anything. What I'm trying to establish is the range in which spirits communicate, the megahertz range. And it seems to me it's somewhere between the broadband spectrum and the Bluetooth spectrum, which actually makes sense. If you start out doing like I used to with just a cassette tape recorder, you could go all night and not get anything, even though you knew that there was spirit activity there. If you use that same location now, a GB1 software or SCD1, you can get tens of replies. Why? Because it's picking up even the faintest of EVPs. The ones that the tape recorder was not sensitive enough to pick up. So I did do this several times last night, and I did pick up a few other EVPs, which we'll now go to. Like I said, after the football practice tonight, and before I got to pick up the little woman, I intend to do an actual session and asking questions like this and see what happens. But like I said, this is not something that I plan to keep doing. This is just to try to figure out just where in the spectrum spirits communicate. If we could identify the spectrum range, it would be a lot better in developing further tools to pick up EVPs, to maybe create an actual, true, two-way communication between this dimension and theirs. So after tonight, I'm going to be going back to using my GB1. And this fall, I plan to get me the SCD1. So it's not like I am abandoning that. To me, those two programs are the best programs out there that I've either used or I have seen used. And they seem to be on the right track. So, enough of me running my mouth. Let's get to the other EVPs, and I will post, hopefully, either later on tonight or tomorrow, the session that I hope to do using this technique. Because, like I said, the past couple of nights have not been really sessions. It's just been me trying out different songs, recording with Audacity, and seeing what it picks up. Well, I said, if you do this, you'll find, and I think you might have to have a laptop where the mic and the earphone plug jack are the same jack. You have to have, I think, a dual jack to do this. And if you do this, and when you play back the recording that Audacity makes, you'll see there's nothing of the song at all. It will not record it. If I had unplugged this and let the speakers play, I'm not even too sure if it would have recorded it then. Well, I should have recorded then. But it won't record if you are using the earphones. It's just something in that program won't do it. So what you get is basically dead air, and if you're lucky, EVPs. So this is magic. Let's get to the EVPs, and I'll catch you later on tonight, hopefully. So bye-bye for now. We go until next time.